What's good, Goob gang? It's your boy Goob coming at you with another video today. And in today's video, I'm going to be testing the somewhat new Turbo Spryzen S4 to hopefully find out if it is better than the Takara Tomy counterpart, Chozy Spriggan. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking this is a crazy idea because Turbo Beyblades have no metal, making them way lighter than all the Chozy Beyblades. But I think this video might disprove that concept to an extent. First, we need to take a look at the OG, Chozy Spriggan. Diving into competitive play, it is common to see Chozy Spriggan being used on zero wall bearing, with its main purpose to outspin the other Beyblade in a life after death match. This combo will be the focus of today's video. The biggest strengths of Chozy Spriggan's layer are its shape and its weight. It's relatively heavy, bulky, and circular, making it great for life after death when going up against opposite spin Beyblades. Now let's take a look at its weaknesses. Despite having burst stoppers, this Beyblade can definitely still burst due to its weak teeth, especially on bearing because the driver has a super weak spring in it. Despite having very little burst resistance, this Beyblade is extremely competitive for the right situation, but has clear flaws that hold it back from perfection. Now let's take a look at Hasbro's Turbo Spryzen S4. This Beyblade is nearly identical in size and shape, but has two substantial differences. As any Turbo Beyblade is, this Beyblade lacks the metal of the original Beyblade, making it 3.5 grams lighter. Even though this is a substantial weight difference, the weight difference between these Beyblades is much less than most Chozy to Turbo Beyblades. Take for example Hazard Kirby's K5. This Beyblade has quite a bit of metal on it and weighs 6 grams more than its Hasbro counterpart. The other big component to the metal on this Beyblade is the placement of it. Chozy Spriggan has no metal contact points, with the only metal on it being in the center chip. Whether you consider this Beyblade as a stamina type or not, inner weight is much more effective at stamina than outer weight due to the centripetal force. An example of this being used in another Beyblade is Archer Hercules, who has metal on the outer part of the Beyblade, making it have great stamina. With Chozy Spriggan being prominently used for stamina and competitive, the little bit of metal in the center is most likely not a substantial component of its success, especially when the Beyblades are opposite spin to end in a life after death battle. Now let's take a look at the second big difference, the locking systems. So we all know that Hasbro uses slopes instead of teeth, and the slopes vary just like the teeth of Takara Tomy Beyblades. The teeth and the slopes of these two Beyblades aren't much different, but what makes these Beyblades so different in the locking systems comes down to the bearing drivers of the two different companies. Hasbro has a bearing driver that contains a super strong spring that is stronger than any other Hasbro driver. In contrast, the Takara Tomy driver contains a very weak spring that is worse than any of the other drivers. This part is crucial for the burst resistance of the Beyblade, because with a tighter spring, the Beyblade is going to be much more burst resistant than a Beyblade with a weak spring. So which Beyblade is actually better? There's not a clear answer, because there are positives and negatives to both layers. Both Beyblades will perform great for opposite spin battles and are essentially equal. Where they differ is how they perform against aggressive attack combos. Chozy Spriggan is more likely to burst due to its weaker teeth and spring, but Turbo Spryzen is more likely to be knocked out as it doesn't have a strong center weight from the metal chip. Ultimately, it's an opinionated question and could vary by the specific opponent. In my opinion, Turbo Spryzen is the better choice, as both Beyblades can be knocked out pretty easily, but the tighter locking system of Turbo Spryzen makes it more usable in deck format. Before I end this video, I want to say once again that everything in this video is my opinion and views on this Beyblade. My perspective and priorities of what makes this Beyblade good could be different from someone else's, which is why it's best to test things out for yourself and make your own conclusions. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which Beyblade do you guys prefer and why? Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.